ng mga ano natin dito. Ang point ko, end of the day, it's 18,000 per year. Meron ba tayong ibang projects that we give assistance in 1 year, almost equal to that or even more? So ito naman, this is an investment for the future of our learners, and we just want to improve the quality of education.
And Mr. Chairman, yes, Mr. Chairman, this particular proposal to exempt the teachers' salary subsidy is really supported by the Constitution. Under the Constitution, Mr. Chairman, on education, it clearly provides that private education is complementary to our public education. And it is a fact, Mr. Chairman, that our salaries for the private schools have really gone far behind what we give what we give to our public school teachers. And in fact, aside from that, Mr. Chairman, in Cagayan de Oro, for example, many teachers in the private schools come to my office to be recommended to DepEd because really of the salary disparity. It's now becoming wider and wider. And so therefore, Mr. Chairman, I believe that we should support this particular bill, especially on the not to include it as taxable income and not to be included in the graduation of income tax. And Mr. Chairman, another point, Mr. Chairman, is that we have to therefore always look at the private sector is giving our learners that opportunity to continue to study.
Education and Culture. Comsec, please read the title of the bill.
Yes, sir. A number substitute bill to House Bills number 928-1723-5589-1585-7666, 1410-3873, and 6852, entitled An Act Establishing the Private Basic Education Voucher Program, Providing for the Creation of the Bureau of Private Education, and appropriating funds therefore, repealing for the purpose sections 2, 3, 4, subsection 2, 4, subsection 3, 5, 6, 7, 12, 14, and 15 of Republic Act number 8545, otherwise known as the Expanded Government Assistance to Students and Teachers in Private Education Act, which amended Republic Act number 6728, otherwise known as the Government Assistance to Students and Teachers in Private Education Act, authored by Representatives Romulo Mariano Hernandez, Salo Romualdez, et al., sir. Your Honor, sir.
Thank you. May we ask our chairperson, Congressman Romulo, to sponsor the measure?
Yes. Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of this committee and esteemed colleagues. The Private Basic Education Vouchers Act is a consolidation of a number of House bills as mentioned by the COMSEC, primarily introduced by myself, Mariano Hernandez, Honorable Salo, Honorable Yeda Marie Romualdez, Judah Sidre, Rufus Rodriguez, Edwin Olivares, Gus Tambuting, and many other authors. The intent of expanding the government assistance and subsidies of the law to cover all learners in the basic education program of the government. The bill seeks to ensure that quality basic education shall be accessible by providing financial assistance to learners in public basic education schools who have to transfer to private schools. It seeks to expand the government assistance and subsidies of the law to also cover kindergarten and elementary learners, aside from the current policy of covering only the junior and senior high school learners. For the information of our members, currently the EGASPE covers junior high school, grades 7 to 10. Under the K-12, it was expanded to senior high school 11 and 12. But the bulk of our students in DepEd schools are from K to 6, in fact 1 to 6. In light of the fact that many, I think we all are aware that there are not enough classrooms. In certain areas, there are not enough buildable space. So, and also many of our private schools, due to the pandemic, have lost their students. So they have the space, but they do not have the students because of the benefits that also was extended to our DepEd schools. So this bill expands it to K to 6, specifically 1 to 6, to allow overcrowding in certain DepEd schools to be able to transfer to nearby private schools. One salient feature of this bill is that unlike the current situation wherein it is input-based with respect to the granting of vouchers, we are clarifying that DepEd must look at outcomes-based. Meaning, we will give exams to the students, learners of our private schools, and from there, the DepEd will be able to determine objectively who is providing quality education, unlike the current situation. Included also here, and an important portion of this bill, is with respect to the creation of the Bureau of Private Education. Currently, there is none. During the pandemic, many of our private schools did not know who or how to approach the Department of Education. And also, before this committee, in fact, is a certain the section 10 of the substitute bill, which provides that the teacher salary subsidy, the TSS, received by the teacher shall not form part of their taxable income. This was introduced during the committee deliberations because, as we understand it, many of our teachers in the private sector are not earning a huge amount of salary. If the 18,000 given as TSS, that's 18,000 per year, annual yun, will be granted, then they may graduate to a different tax bracket, and suddenly their take home becomes smaller. So instead of helping them with the TSS, it will be detrimental if we do not provide or expressly state that the taxable income, that additional 18,000 per annum, will be exempt from or will not form part of taxable income. With the appropriate tax provision amendments, we earnestly seek approval of the above mentioned substitute bill. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Tinanggalan mo, did you take away PAYAC from this?
Under the current version, we are giving the Department of Education the flexibility to choose who their third party, if they want a co-implementer, and who that co-implementer will be.
Can you do that without amending the presidential decree?
PD is a law. This is a law. So once it becomes a law, then
That's why I'm asking if whether you are amending it or repealing it.
First of all, I think under our current array of laws, the point is everything, whether services or goods, must be publicly bidded. I don't think a law should favor any particular entity. If they will be the deserving entity, then by all means they will be the co-implementer of DepEd. But again, we must abide by the principle of allowing the DepEd flexibility, and it is competitive anyway.
So you did not solve it.
I did not
solve it. The identity crisis of PAYAC.
No, we just said that PAYAC, it's not automatic. Unlike currently now, ginagawa natin automatic PAYAC as a co-implementer by law. I think we put that sa GA natin every year, and I think that is not fair. So what we should do is allow flexibility to DepEd and allow DepEd to choose based on public bidding who their co-implementer will be.
Mr. Chair.
Thank you. First, may I recognize Vice Chair Michaela, Senior Vice Chair, the future of this committee, Senior Vice Chair Michaela Biswansing, more beautiful than the father. Congressman Dale B. Corvera of Acusan del Sur. So, may we now hear from a resource person?
Mr. Chair, just a reaction to the comment of Congressman or Chairman Romulo with regards to PAYAC. You know, it's also fair that if PAYAC is doing a good job for so many years that has passed, I would consider that we should look at it, you know, from that perspective also. if they're doing a good job, then by all means, we need to provide them the opportunity to sustain and maintain what they've been doing for us.
That is provided in the bill itself. DepEd will have the choice of who the co-implementer will be. If they are doing a good job, then let DepEd be the decision maker, not us, not by law, not by legislation.
Question I have, Mr. Chair, if I may. Will the current support to teachers under the GASPE will be in addition to what you propose in Section 10, Chairman Romulo?
The only addition probably or institutionalization will be the in-house training. But then with respect to the TSS, if you,
Yes.
that is what you're referring to,
Yes.
if you recall, this bill merely expands it to K to 6, 1 to 6. And we are just ensuring and assuring our teachers that this TSS, the additional more or less 18,000 per annum, is not going to be a burden because it should not form part of their taxable income and they will not graduate to another tax bracket wherein the tax rate will be probably be bigger. That is all that it is doing.
Okay, so this provision will only apply to the K to 6
No.
teachers.
Under this bill, this bill now will take care of the whole assistance of e-GASPE for the basic education system. So that covers K to 12.
So my initial question, or my first question is, this will not be in addition to. It is not. So
Currently kasi meron na eh.
So if they are receiving already under the existing GASPE law, they will not have this additional
They will
amount.
have in fact the benefit of the law saying that whatever they are receiving, even
not
those
be
currently
taxable.
should not form part of the taxable income.
So that's-
because right now, in fact, that they are in a quandary about that. I think they always try to clarify that.
Yeah,
So
so
the law itself will say hindi na siya form. It
yeah,
should not
I just
form.
want to clarify. So in other words, the GASPE that we have right now will
benefit.
continue.
Yes.
Those who are in higher in grade 6 up to grade 12. And this one is an addition that we provide, but what will be included here would be both the K to 6 and 7 to 12, the tax exemption.
That is correct.
provision.
That is
Okay.
correct, Chairman.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. May we now ask our resource persons? Andyan na ba yung tax provision? DOF?
To the Honorable Chair and members, as well as fellow resource persons, good morning po. The Department of Finance would like to express its reservations regarding the exemption from income taxation of the salary subsidy, Mr. Chair, on grounds of inconsistency with the principles of a fairer, more equitable system as embodied in the TRIN law, Mr. Chair. We note that it may create, it could create preferential treatment and set a negative precedent for other sectors to follow suit and demand for the same preferential tax treatment.
Even if there's preferential treatment from the Constitution?
Yes, Mr. Chair. We look at this, we consider this, Mr. Chair, in consideration as well of the expanded
Anyway,
coverage.
duly noted. BIR?
Thank you po.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. In addition to the position by the DOF,
But before that, may I recognize one of the pillars of this bill, Congressman Jude Asidre, our Deputy Majority Leader, who has been pushing for this. Anyway, yes, BIR? You
Yes.
follow the DOF?
yes, Mr. Chair, and in addition po, we'd like to point out that currently, the salary subsidy to be received by the teachers will be addressed by Section 32B7E of the tax code, where up to 90,000 in benefits is already excluded from the taxable income. So we believe that the taxability of the subsidy fund or the exemption from thereof is already addressed by this one. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, NTRC?
Good morning, Mr. Chair.
Yeah.
We adopt the position of the DOF as well as the
Thank
position
you.
of the BAR.
DepEd? And nobody from DepEd? Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. For the DepEd, sir, whatever is beneficial to our teachers, sir, whether it's in public or private, we support it po.
Okay, so
Mr. Chair, may I ask a question to DOF?
what's
If I
it?
may?
Okay.
Yeah, how much will be the loss to the government just in case we approve this particular measure of granting tax exemption to the additional support that the government provides to private teachers,
May loss pa.
Mr. Chair?
Yes,
May I respond, Mr. Chair? The DOF is still currently preparing estimates for this, Mr. Chair, but we will include this in the position paper we will be submitting on the measure.
are you okay? We will cure it. So it will essentially make it fair to private school teachers, to public school teachers. I think there will be parity treatment.
We can initially make a calculation now. If the additional income is 18,000 per teacher per year, how many private school teachers do we have right now?
No, but if it's 18,000 times 12, that's essentially 230.
Per annum, the 18,000 is per annum.
Yes.
And may I, we will come up with the calculations if Chairman Marco wants. But again, this is education. Let us take a look at it as an investment. First of all, meron nga tayong tulong-dunong project na magkano yun ang binibigay natin. This is 18,000 per year for one teacher. I mean, ikukuripot pa ba natin sa bawat teacher ang 18,000 per year? And the reason why we want it simply out of the taxable income, and I think there will be a proposal later on how to make it fair, is simply because it does not anymore become an assistance if that is stuck into their current salary and they graduate to another bracket. So pati ito pa ba? Ipipiso-piso pa ba natin ang mga ano natin dito? Ang point ko, end of the day, it's 18,000 per year. Meron pa tayong ibang projects that we give assistance in 1 year, almost equal to that or even more. So ito naman, this is an investment for the future of our learners, and we just want to improve the quality of education.
And Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, this particular proposal to exempt the teachers' salary subsidy is really supported by the Constitution. Under the Constitution, Mr. Chairman, on education, it clearly provides that private education is complementary to our public education. And it is a fact, Mr. Chairman, that our salaries for the private schools have really gone far behind what we give from what we give to our public school teachers. And in fact, aside from that, Mr. Chairman, in Cagayan de Oro, for example, many teachers in the private schools come to my office to be recommended to DepEd because really of the salary disparity. It's now becoming wider and wider. And so therefore, Mr. Chairman, I believe that we should support this particular bill, especially on the not to include it as taxable income and not to be included in the graduation of income tax. And Mr. Chairman, another point, Mr. Chairman, is that we have to therefore always look at the private sector is giving our learners that opportunity to continue to study. Because, Mr. Chairman, the private schools, our public schools cannot have classrooms. We are always behind in classrooms. We cannot already take our learners, and the private school is there. And therefore, Mr. Chairman, let us therefore support this. And secondly, the establishment of the Bureau of Private Education gives that message that henceforth, this committee on Ways and Means, chaired by our chairman, future Senator of the Republic, Joey Salceda takes care of our teachers, and we cannot give them increases in salary, and that is why this bundle of support like tax exemption will go a long way in telling our teachers that we love them. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
May motion to disapprove. Sasagutin mo pa?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I support the bill, Mr. Chair. I don't like to be misinterpreted here. I support the bill. I'm only asking how much will be the loss to the government just in case we exempt them.
Right now, there's none because the average, according to the PSA, the average salary of private basic education teachers is 204,600.
Then there's no problem. The maximum is 250, Mr. Chair,
Plus
under the current law.
Trade.
Yeah, so having said that, I think we can approve now.
No, but I think some people need to be recognized, so they on record. First, may I recognize the bright guy of the committee, Congressman Ray Reyes.
Yeah.
Pinuri-puri kita, wala ka naman. And from one of the most democratic region of this country, which is the Cordillera Autonomous Region, Congressman Allen Jesse C. Mangawan. Okay, so may I now, is TDC around? Yes, you're recognized.
Yes, sir.
Please.
Magandang umaga po. No, kami naman po ay we recognize yung complementary role ng public and private schools. No, however, gusto po naming matiyak yung apat na usapin po tungkol dito. One is quality. Yung mga schools dapat ay compliant doon sa standard ng Department of Education, and they are performing. Pangalawa po, yung labor, that we have to ensure that the schools, the participating schools or the recipients, no, the grantees ay dapat at least ay pumapasa at compliant din dun sa labor standards, no, at hindi nagpapasahod ng napakababa, no, at kung hindi papasok, no, by the way, kung hindi papasok dun sa minimum, dapat merong top up, no, yung eskwelahan po natin, at hindi naman at pinapayagan yung mga teacher natin na mag-organize, no, magka-collectively bargain and everything, no. Next po is public school salary should be the standard din po, no, yung well, nabanggit ko na, no. And lastly, sir, no, yung audit and monitoring, sana merong mechanism, no, doon sa batas, no, para makita po natin na hindi nasasayang yung ating pondo nung pera ng taong bayan. That's all, Mr. Chair. Thank you.
Wala ba?
Yes, in fact, Mr. Chair, I think BENJO is well aware that currently the system being implemented is it's input-based. Meaning, bibisita sa isang private school, titingnan yung mission vision ng school, may points yun, titingnan yung facilities ng schools, may point yun. Pero nakita natin, pagdating naman ng national assessment or ng mga international assessment exams, we're not really faring that well. Even the private schools may be doing better than the DepEd schools, but not by far. I mean, in terms of globally. Under this provision, under this bill, ang sinasabi natin, kailangan may test na rin na i-administer sa ating private schools. Doon makikita ng DepEd kung quality yung education. It's outcomes-based. Hindi na yung kung ano man ang sinulat nila, doon tayo magdedesisyon. We should see the scores of the learners. DepEd pala should see the scores and from there decide. Hindi natin sinasabi na kung mababa ay automatic, wag isama. But meron silang dapat flexibility.
Sir, may LRN din sila.
May ano po?
LRN. Yung mga estudyante doon.
Again po, no, everything, kasi ngayon po kasi,
Yung
ang totoo, parang hindi naman talaga, DepEd doesn't even know eh. Wala tayong Bureau of Private Education Bureau right now.
So,
we're not even aware.
Lang, lalagyan ng LRN.
Kailangan po magkaroon ng system para malaman natin exactly who are enrolled there, malaman natin kung ano yung tracer, under the bill, a tracer system in fact must also be instituted. Kailangan malaman natin yung mga paral na binibigyan, what happens to them, what a tracer system?
Yung let din sila.
Di po, walang, that has not been imposed. That has not been imposed.
What happens?
But again po, no, it's outcomes-based, Chairman. kung maganda naman ang performance ng students, we should give them that opportunity to be able to
It's okay.
teach.
I can agree with the outcomes without let. So, ACT, are you around?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
You recognize?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. Vladimir Kito po. Sa ano ng Alliance of Concerned Teachers, anong bagay na magarantiya o magtitiyak para dun sa kagalingan ng guro, lalo na usapin ito ng salary, mga benefits ay sumusuporta yung Alliance of Concerned Teachers. Kaya kami sa ng act ay tinitingnan din sa bagay itong usapin sa pribado dapat mapag-usapan din sa pampubliko. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Maraming salamat. So, can we now show the recommendation of the Secretariat so that the fears of DOF will be assuaged? So, the teacher salary received shall form part of the exclusion from taxable income, gross income in accordance with Section 32B7E of the NIRC as amended. That's basically the 250,000. So in short, pag lumampas, then it's taxable. So that's 204,000 plus 18. So that's basically 222,000. Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair, hindi ba rin pwedeng isama ito sa yung 92,000 na de minimis at the end of the year?
Sa bonus lang yun, sir.
Parang assistance.
Hindi siya bonus. It's not in the nature of a bonus. It's in the nature of ano na talaga.
So hindi pwedeng isama doon?
Lugi sila. Kasi lalampas sila na 92.
Hindi, 18,000 lang to per year eh. Hindi naman monthly to. That's small naman.
Hindi naman. Kaso yung bonus, yung tax-free bonus is 92. So malay mo may mga like Ateneo would have 92, I'm sure, as bonus. So if you add the 18, then they go to a certain taxability already.
Yung bang Chairman Roman, yung bang Mr. Chair, yung mga ganong university kasama ba rito?
Well, ang intindi ko, no, as long as they qualify, may night school sila, yung beneficiaries would have been those who are from DepEd schools nearby at walang may ibang quality, then they can apply and pwede sila I think yung mga night schools could
Yung mga Ateneo.
Yes, kung may night school po sila.
Kasama siya.
Kung may night school sila, yes. Yeah.
But it's St. Louis.
Hindi St. Louis ang namin doon. May mas magaling na elementary doon. May mas magaling.
Para manahimik na.
Yung Berkeley School.
There's a way of handling Marco. Okay, so okay, tama. Kasama siya. So meron pa ba mga tanong kayo? Kung wala, Congressman Beatrix?
Chair, are we not going to flash the
Please flash. I thought it was flashed.
recommendation?
Na-flash na kasi. So we wanted your face on the TV. So
Shall I make the motion, Mr. Chair?
actually the right of first refusal, the right of first is by the wala si France. So nandito si Dagook, hindi naman ito nagtatanong. So majority. So pag so yung majority naman. Oh, my mother and my father were teacher all their lives. So anyway, siya na lang daw. May I recognize, of course, our beautiful Senior Vice Chair, the future of this committee, Nika Swansea.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. There being no other member who wishes to ask questions with regard to the measure, I move that we approve with amendments Section 10 of the Unnumbered Substitute Bill to House Bill numbers 928, 1723, 5589, 1585, 7666, 1410, 3873, and 6852.
Second, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Beatrix Lestro. So are there any objection? Hearing none, so upon motion, to seconded with no objection, the unnumbered substitute bill on private, on PBE, on the teacher salary subsidy fund is hereby approved.
Mr.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
With permission from the authors, I also move that all members present be included as co-authors of the measure.
Second, Mr. Chair.
Are there any objections? Hearing none, so the motion is approved. With that, it is the honor of this chair to discharge the very masipag na chairman ng Basic Ed. So please go.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Thank you to the members of this committee. Thank you, Darian.
Thank you. Now, from the Committee on Justice.
Kung meron man kayong mga komento tungkol sa mga isyong ito, maaari kayong magbigay ng mga reaksyon sa comment section na makikita sa ibaba ng bidyong ito. Maraming salamat, at kung ikaw ay interesado ng mga bidyong tulad nito, mangyaring suportahan ang channel na ito sa pamamagitan ng pagpindot ng like, pag-share ng mga video, at kung bago ka pa lang sa channel na ito, please subscribe sa channel na ito at pindutin ang notification bell at piliin ang all upang maabisuhan ka para sa mga paparating pang mga videos.